we await to see if the man who has now spent 442 days as champion, LCR Leopard, can retain his title. If he can hold it until round 10, he'll have hit 500 days as LCR World Champion. But the talking is over. It's no more of the strategic strategies. It's all down to the 5 red lights as LCR Season 6 prepares to get underway, as we've got 3, 4, 5 red lights, and LCR Season 6 is finally off. Now in Bahrain, it's defenders like Russell Evans being poor stop down Zebro. Jones on side him down towards turn 1. Left him in, he goes across cover, and he gets him almost to CLG Holland. Going alongside BBR hit down towards turn 1. She's 3 wide, potentially about 4 wide between KJ, Hick, Borso, and Waste as they come down towards turn number 2. It's still now Dralex gets on to second, gets ahead of Holland. Good start from him. KJ trying to take full advantage of VBR here, but down towards turn 4. Zebra over attention now going to try and fast play past Holland as well. Poor start from CRG Holland, but also you can see VBR hit trying to go down the inside. KJ trying to go the outside of Zebro as well. An awful start from WR Zebro. He dropped from 2nd down to 6th. And now has to start picking his cherries. They're trying to find his way back through up towards the leaders though. Dralek trying to go on the outside. Holland trying to go down the inside of him. It was attacking and defending through towards turn 8 and now towards the corner that we said it was going to be tackle and defended at the same time. Turns 9 and 10, as you can see, all funneling through. You can just see KJ there having a bit of a squivel in the back, but didn't manage to run into anyone. Just about baiting him and CRG more so squabbling away for P8. That is for P7 and it's for down towards turn 11. You can see Dralek now go alongside Leopard down towards turn 11, down the inside. The 2 title contenders of Season 5, and I don't think he will potentially have the hill climb towards turn 13 round the outside, and not this time just yet from Dralex. He has no choice but to slot in behind. Smith, anything I missed further down?
Not really, not much else. Another just the big losers there. Gianni losing 4 places, King Liam losing 4 places, and obviously Sebro losing 4 places as well. As Sebro's going, as Gianni was going for a move there on the LK, but didn't quite make it stick, and that means Jolly is right behind him right now on the medium tyres. Gianni goes really defensive.
Ran outside for the race lead. This is for Dralex trying to go on the long way round on Leopard, and now switches back to the inside through towards turn 2. It's something like an absolute train right behind the German up the hill climb towards turn 4. Leopard goes to the inside line and now going defensive round the outside. Goes the Canadian. It's reigniting feuds, except this time it's not a Silvero who's got to defend. It is a raging Ferrari that's trying to have a go, and not quite just yet, but these two are top and tailing as if it is a cold night in the winter, but it's not a cold Tuesday night in LCR just yet. But round the outside goes KJ, potentially on hit through towards turn 8. The battle does not stop. KJ potentially has now done it. What a move from KJ. Gamer comes down of absolutely nowhere and immediately takes full advantage, then tries to take Holland as well in 2 corners, and he does. What a magnificent move from KJ Gamer. 5th to 4th in the space of turns 8, 9 and 10. Take a bow, you rookie. That is a brilliant way to kick yourself off.
Absolutely brilliant there. Managed to get good drive up the hill off turn 9, overtaking hit, and then really nice. I don't think Holland was expecting that move down the inside, but brilliantly executed from KJ. And he needs to stay in touch as the top 2 are starting to move away. The 2 guys from last season, Dralix and Leopard, are starting just to eke out a little bit of a gap here. But Killer Snipes gets a 5-second stop go. But yeah, nothing much else happened down as Morso is coming up behind. Oh, Sebro thought he might make a move there, but it's
Holland
really
started it down the inside of KJ and done it. And now Hit's gone right around the outside of him through towards turn 2, and KJ has just lost the 2 positions he just gained just a half a lap ago. And now he's going to try and come back, and also you can see Sebro there also doing his best to try and get past Morso, but down the inside goes KJ. Gamer on hit again as a sort of rebound opportunity. I don't think he will up towards turn 5, and well, KJ's just lost all the hard work he just did.
Yeah, I did. Sorry, I wasn't on board for that, but yeah, like you say, sounds like Holland made a move up the inside, and then kind of KJ didn't expect it, and he lost out to hit as well, with everyone being so closely packed. Any little mistake, as he runs wide as well. Again, KJ there can Morso get up close behind him, but all this squabbling is allowing the top 2 to slowly get away.
Oh, there's a car from the background. That was Killer Snipes. The Haas off in the background. We just saw it through the camera. We just saw the car snake, and we thought, yep, that car is not being saved. And the first real incident of the Grand Prix. And now that is sure to be front wing damage and a long way back for him to get anything out of this Grand Prix. Also, meanwhile, Kino 25, who started on mediums, is currently... Oh, it's just past Gianni, and also Mulder's passed. I don't know what happened to KRC Gianni up out of that section, but here we go, up towards the leaders. And as you mentioned, Holland now outside of DRS, already 1.5 seconds away. Leopard goes fastest. Gap now 7/10 between himself and Dralex, but hit is right on the back of Holland, down towards turn 1. The Frenchman going down the inside. The second Frenchman to start in a Mercedes. A nice move, and KJ makes a bit of a sort of contact there. That was surely throwing damage. Flew off him because I have no idea what happened with him. I believe he tried to dart it to try and defend against Morso and accidentally clipped the back of Holland and ultimately cost himself an opportunity. There's a car off and it's Mulder. Oh dear. Did you see what happened to him?
No, sorry. I was on board with the same battle you were on board with, so I wasn't watching that, but yeah. It's really furious here. P3 to P7, they're all really close. It's brilliant battling from these guys.
Aggressive stuff going on in the proper midfield as well, as Dragon Pro has just passed Jolly for P12, but that was a really proper feisty way to get through at one, and the usual overtake you expect to see. Then we see the DRS Fest opening at large, and more so is the closest of all to have a little bit of a go on KJ Gamer, but again, not quite close enough to consider it down towards turn 11, and they fly through 12 and 13. More so again, trying to find the way past KJ, is right on the back of him. Holland starting to creep away as well, so it looks like as if we might end up with 3 mini battles. Leopard, Dralex, hit Holland, and then KJ, Morso, Sebro and Bacon Yum all squabbling away for position, and Boris just behind as well in P9, who has gained a position, but Holland might think about attack here. Smith, is he going to try it down the inside towards turn 1?
Yeah, I reckon so. He's getting closer. He's going to make a late decision. No, he decides against it, stays behind. But at least it looks like he outbroke himself a little bit. Then Sebro had a little look. But just up at the front, Dralex is getting really close to Leopard here. As LK picks up a 3-second penalty. But yeah, no, all this squabbling from these guys, P3 down, is really letting these top 2 get away.
Yeah, meanwhile, Dragon Pro now gets past LK to get himself into P10, and also Bacon Yum past the WR Sebro. Do not forget, of course, Sebro started 2nd in this race. Bacon Yum started 11th. There was probably about 5 seconds at them at the start, which is a big gap. And now all of a sudden, it's come out with Bacon Yum now passing into P7, and now is the 3rd man in this train. UK Dark Predator also gets passed by WR Clone Troop. Come on, Clone Troop, you were my first pick in my draft. Do well, son. Yeah, the bias commentary shall continue probably throughout the entire 14 rounds of this season. But KJ now probably going to try and find a way past Holland because he's creeped back behind him. The gaps have just so fluctuating. There's not really been too much consistency on these first few laps.
No, they've all really been stuck in each other's DRS, and it's really hard to get it past. And if like Holland is obviously out of hits DRS now, he's going to be a sitting duck into turn 1 as KJ runs wide there. That gives Morso a nice run here. As KJ goes defensive, Morso's this is really squeezing him.
Little to no room left, but he's going to try and fight it. Down the inside he goes, he's leaving no inch. As right behind another McLaren, the other one succeeds, and eventually Morso is now ahead, and now can maybe start to work with his teammate. And here comes Bacon Young. These two are old rivals, by the way, KJ and Bacon Young. They're 2 rookies in LCR, but they certainly know how to battle. Through towards turn 4, there's a bit of contact, almost Sebastian Vettel spin at Bahrain for Bacon Young, but he saves it just about. But at what cost was that? Not just tyre wear, but also the problem of now he's lost time to KJ Gamer ahead. Meanwhile, back with the leaders, Leopard and Dralex, they're still sort of keeping the gap with Hit, but at the same time, it's not like crazy. But now what's happened to Sebro at turn 10? Because now he's been passed by Boris. Has he got front wing damage?
Let me have a look. No, it doesn't. I would go on board with him, but obviously it's quite hard to tell. No, it doesn't look like it as he comes through turn 11 there. Doesn't look like he's got any damage. Maybe he just outbraked himself going into turn 10. Very easily to do. Boris is on a charge now for the Williams team. Started quite low down. Obviously making a few moves now.
teammate currently leads. He's climbed up from P10 on the grid he started, so was the last guy to start on a qualifying set of softs. Talking about tyres, we didn't get a chance to talk about them during qualifying because the formation lap happened so quickly. Medium tyres for the two Force Indias and now for Killer Snipes, who had to make a pit. Also, Wastel started on his supers, which he was the only guy in the top 10 to do so, and has now pitted for a set of soft 2-stop clearly for him. But now Bacon Yum and KJ reigniting again through towards turn 2. A bit of a kiss as a shove off there from KJ to Bacon. Now down towards turn 4. There would be a DRS zone, but not in 2018. You also see, I think that's Dragon Pro and LK squabbling away in the background as well, but round down the inside, not quite enough for Bacon Young. But again, Dragon Pro and LK having a right old battle here for the final point. And well, they're only closing up to Sebro as well, so could this be another addition to the train?
Yeah, not if these guys keep swabbling as well. Like I say, Dragon Pro just puts his nose in again, and turn 9 shows him there. But there's a little bit of a gap here from Sebro to LK, and then there's another absolutely massive train of about 5 cars all the way down to KRC Johnny in 14th. But look at the amount of cars on the straight. Unbelievable amount of cars. That just shows how close we are here. There is about 10 or 11 cars all in the same picture. As Dragon Pro has now made the move on LK and he's up into the points again in P10.
Now with the Force Indias try and snap him up just behind. Of course, their mediums are going to start to kick in soon. But meanwhile, the two McLarens have come together on track. We had issues at the team with Renault. I don't think, given the fact that they're both esports teammates and actual teammates on track, I don't think there'll be any issues this time. More so goes to the inside, and maybe this will be for P4, allow him to be the man to try and take the chance to hit. And yes, he does. If you look at that, he's getting a fair amount of time. Meanwhile, there's a big battle going on behind as Bacon Yum shift to the outside line against KJ. Game it down towards turn 1 again. It seems of old again through towards 2. He skips across, gets through. Oh, still a bit of a kiss in the end. That could lead in tears. And here comes Boris. Gladly takes the ultimate opportunity to have a go, and maybe even have a go. KJ down towards turn 4, not quite. He had in the end, has to defend against Bacon out towards 5. He's doing his best to try and squeeze him out, and I think in the end Boris comes out on top, and ultimately Bacon loses it just thanks to a slight tank slap, and that just shows how little a margin there is in LCR. I mean, I'm trying to go down the inside towards turn 8. No, not going to be quite there for you, lad, just yet. But yeah, just go show how little margin. That was just a tiny little mistake, and then gladly Boris said, "Yep, I'll have that position. Thank you very much."
Yep, that's how close it is. You make one tiny mistake, someone will definitely snap up that opportunity, and Boris was in the right place, right time there when Bacon and KJ were squabbling there, and obviously you had that little moment, and that's allowed Boris to gain another place for the Williams team. Brilliant drive from him so far. He obviously was the race winner here back in season 5, so he is definitely not to be written off yet.
Yeah, he started from down the field as well, so it's not as if he didn't do it by starting from pole and went on to win the race like that. He had a lot of work to do and has most certainly done that again at the start of the Grand Prix. Still plenty of time left to be raced in this one. And also, of course, LCR Leopard off the back of winning the Race of Champions. I'm not going to get a chance to sort that because now Boris going outside line against KJ down towards turn 1. Can the Williams do it? Again, the favoured team against the underdogs, really, and squeezed out in the end. And that means that Boris has to concede defeat. And to be fair, was very noble in it, shall we say. But Bacon, I think, had a little look to the inside there of Boris, but I think more just trying to find his braking zone than anything. Meanwhile, Jolly's trying to go down the inside of LK. They've had a bit of a coming together. That was a bit of a coming. That could have been front wing damage caused there because, well, thankfully for reduced damage, I don't think it will be, but I think full damage would have caused that one to have left in tears. But this is, of course, a battle that's being led by Dragon Pro all the way down now to Clone Troop at the back. See, Journey is not the man at the back train now because Clone Troop has caught up to it, so that's incredible to see so many packs forming early on. And Boris again is going to try and away fast. Do you reckon this time might have it Smith down towards 11? No, not quite.
I think he's going to bide his time there, okay? I think he did the right thing. He doesn't want to, with the home main straight not too far away, if he gets past, he could easily get past again down into turn 1, and we know how aggressive KJ has been in defending. He's really hugged that inside line every time. But let's see if Boris can make a move now as they come onto the straight to start lap number 10 of this race. Can Boris make a move? We're going to see. I'm sure we're going to see KJ go aggressive here. And yeah, he does again. Boris tries to go around the outside. doesn't look like he can get it done. KJ squeezes him out. That allows Bacon to come round the outside. Oh, what a move by Bacon to get past Boris there. KJ squeezed out Boris, and that allowed Bacon to pick up the pieces. No swap positions again.
What?
Oh, Boris tries to go around the outside. Seabro's there. We're
There's
just
a car
waiting.
off. Oh,
It's Fredster.
Fredster's off. Oh no! You waste of money.
You cost me so much. God damn it.
Meanwhile, there's a right-on squabble going on here further down between when you've got Dragon Pro, Jolly, LK, Liam, Jack. They're all squabbling for positions. It's down towards turns 9 and 10. Liam's just lost position to Janny. Now back down the inside, goes for the switchback at turn 10. Bit of a punt in the end from both of them, really. And down towards 11 they come. Obviously, Jolly potentially going to try and way past against Dragon Pro up ahead. What do we do? No, not quite. What about Liam on Janny? And again, he sort of slides his way through this Janny. And not quite enough for him to have a little bit of a go. Maybe Clone Troop now going to try and find a way past. Oh, now the oh, Janny's lost it through towards 14. Saved it just about, but up the cost of position to WR Clone Troop. And well, we're getting towards them first stops, and first stops we shall have soon. As now, of course, them soft guys begin to struggle in comparison to these mediums. Oh, Dragon Pro has been pushed off there by Jolly. Speaking of which, in comes 3 drivers. In comes even more. Holland, KJ and Boris all in. That can expect to be undercuts on them ones. And well, Holland in instead of more so, which is an unusual call for McLaren, really. I thought they'd have had the leading driver come in first just to make sure. But instead, they've definitely gone the other way.
Yeah, definitely an interesting choice there, but obviously maybe more so feeling a bit more comfortable on his tyres. Still quite early to pit, obviously, for these medium tyres. So these guys going for the undercut. I was just going to say, is one of the top 5 guys. Oh, as Holland nearly loses it coming out of the traction zone of turn 3 there. Really tough corner and trying to get on the power a little bit too much. Oh yeah, what I was saying is, I was going to say, would any of the top 5 guys take a risk and try and get an undercut here? Because obviously Leopard is controlling this race from the front. Dralix is now well out of DRS. So if I was Dralix, I would pit now. You've got nothing to lose, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes in maybe on the next lap or 2.
Yeah, it's beginning to pull that gap down. That's gap now down to 1.2 is the Mercedes on the Ferrari. Of course, Dralek's former Mercedes driver, so I think there's nothing more than his former team we'd like to see. But speaking of the devil, and they shall appear. All of them fly into the pits for a battle between Williams, Ferrari and Mercedes in the pit box, and also McLaren bringing up the rear, which is a pretty normal story for them. But in they come, and well, Dralex has not been held. He should have been, but Leopard has come out just ahead. He was actually held in the pits there for me, but let's see where these guys come out in regards to, well, firstly, Holland. Let's see if he's had a good enough outlap to really compensate coming out anywhere near his teammate, where he's more so now. He's now coming out towards the pit line. Holland is flying down at around about 194 miles an hour, and in the end is not going to get the jump. It even actually looked like he was sort of holding back, but meanwhile Seabro has come out just behind Wastel, who is in between himself and KJ, and that is not what he needs in this situation, but has come out ahead of Boris. So I'm not too sure what's happened to Boris in this pit stop lap, because it's gone all wrong for him, but he's now going to try his way past Seabro on cold tyres. Down the inside goes Boris. This could be a crucial move for the high points paying positions, and in the end Boris gets past.
Yeah, brave move there, like you said, on cold tyres, but Boris knew he needed to get the move done ASAP, and he has got it done there, so brilliant from the Williams driver. And just to note up front, the gaps have literally, from all the guys who appeared, seem to have stuck reasonably the same. Sorry, but Holland's right behind Morso here. No team orders at McLaren as Holland goes past Morso at turn 11 and goes up to 9th. Well, on the road for 9th, but I think that's P4 or P5 theoretically when everyone's pit.
Yeah, good move, and nice to see that they both actually are on the same page, of course, but I think it'll be the same page here at Force India, because they're still top and tail in one another. I've spoken to Liam and Jolly personally, of course. I'm friends with them, and Jolly, the leading of the two Force Indias. Meanwhile, into the pits comes the other Ferrari of LK, and also comes in LCR Mulder now for what we expect to be their one and only stops. But yeah, Liam and Jolly, let's see if these two work together. Of course, they're both on mediums. They're thinking about the longer game here. They'll be on to a set of softs to take them to the end. maybe in the next 3 or 4 laps. Maybe possibly later than that, maybe so late as lap 20. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how these guys work on, because you know they are close, they are friends, but ultimately they both want to win. They've both got the pace to win.
Exactly. There's only so long you can work together until you have that mentality like, I want to win this. I don't want to. We've helped each other out enough now. One of us has got to take the bull by the horns and try and win the race for Force India. So it'll be interesting to see. But interesting as well, just to note, Bacon Yum is still out there on 12-lap-old soft. Brilliant from the rookie Haas driver here. Got to expect him to come into the pits now. Can't be out much longer. His tyres must be close to the edge here. And yeah, as I expected, he comes into the pits. That means the Force Indias are now leading this race.
They were leading qualifying at one point, and now they're leading the race at one point. So I suppose they'll leave Abu Dhabi with that pride of honour. And well, of course, it'll be interesting to see where Bacon comes out as Hit goes fastest, but also KJ has closed up to Morso. Morso's dropped a second behind his teammate already, and outside of DRS range. Just about. It's fluctuating, so it could come into it that he could actually luckily get it. But now the Toro Rosso is going to put up a fight here against the two McLarens, and well, they sort of have to try and scarper away, and KJ is not letting them do that in these first few laps of these medium tyres.
No, definitely not. He wants these. He's in this fight for these top 5 positions. These guys, obviously, Hit is really starting to pull away, but he's catching. Just a note on that, Hit. I was just about to talk about podiums, and Hit is really starting to catch up to Dralix here. So could we see the French driver potentially be taking Dralix for a theoretical P2? But yeah, back to KJ. Yeah, he's in this squabble for top 5 position, so he is really doing well here to keep up with the McLaren boys.
Boris trying to find a way past Wastel from P9. This is still not good news for Boris. He's stuck behind this Mercedes. He's not really in a battle with, because of course in the next few laps he's got to come in. But also, just look at the McLarens here. Morso is now closed up towards Holland, so maybe this is going to be a sort of tactic from them. They just sort of prevent anyone else from getting near by just allowing the DRS to come back into play for the pair of them. So we spoke about, of course, McLaren are some people's constructors' favourite. In fact, Morso is even more close. In fact, he goes to the inside line against Holland, and I think there is going to be another position swap here. And yes, there is. Morso now ahead of Holland, and well, the ongoing saga continues as Boris also gets past Wastel further down, and now has to worry about Sebro behind him. Does the Mercedes? It's the only reserve on the grid today. But yeah, another team swap.
Yeah, sorry, for just a bit further down, Gianni gets the move done on UK Dark Predator for P16 into turn 1 there. Oh, sorry. Tickling the old thing, but yeah.
So that happens when you're drunk and hungover after a holiday. You're allowed to have a bit of a sort of breather phase where you get yourself back in. But here we go. We're on the ball with a battle now that will actually be for P2 when pit stops come in. Dralix and Hit going head to head. The two top teams in Formula 1. And well, it's a rookie against what last season was known as the prodigal rookie, if you will. And really, this is almost feels like a passing of the torch, saying, right, now you get to be the rookie who's done well. And Dralix has an opportunity here to put a bit of a show on for us.
Yeah, definitely. VBR Hit definitely has more pace than the Canadian. And if he can get past him here, can he get a little bit closer to Leopard and put a bit of pressure on the 3-time champion? Because at the moment, he is having it his own way. As Hit is going for the move here on Dralix into turn 1. Yeah, very simple move. I don't think Dralix is really fighting that. He knows that Hit is faster. He's setting fastest lap after fastest lap, and a bit further down, Wastel has finally come into the pits. So we're just 2 more people left to pit here. We've just got the 2 Force India drivers who are just casually going along here, but Leopard is starting to catch them. but they are still
Are we
leading
going to
this.
see a Ferrari gunner here? Are we going to see an almost Ferrari-esque? Remember what Kimi Raikkonen last season was basically left out there to sort of just say, right, do what you can against the leading Mercedes and see where you go from there. So we could see that now, Leopard, because there's no way that obviously Liam and Leopard are rivals from last season. So I think that's definitely reignited. So it's an interesting point that they are staying out there.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I don't think, like you say, Liam and Leopard were battling last year, so I don't think they're going to let Leopard just pass them nice and easily. They're going to make it tough for Leopard. Maybe, hopefully, hold him up a little bit. The guys behind will definitely hope so, but I'm sure one of the Force Indians may come into the pits now. We'll have to take a look. And there we go, King Liam does come into the pits.
It's interesting that again the rear, similar to what we saw in McLaren, the rear car, the second car in the train of them, comes into the pits first. So maybe Liam was showing a bit more tired because he has, without making excuses for him, he has been in the dirty air of Jolly pretty much all stint. So tyre wear of course is increased for getting the hot fumes of a car in front. It sounds a bit stupid, but it is. Potentially a cause of what caused him maybe have to be the one who pit early. Meanwhile, Clone Troop just behind Liam out of the pits. He's trying to find a way past LK, but then all of a sudden there's a Force India right in his way and sort of boxes him like NASCAR style. Now LK trying to go on the outside of Liam, of course, is on older mediums against fresh softs just come out brand new out of the pit. And now Clone Troop trying to find a way past. It's absolute chaos towards turn 4. LK now goes and a bit of contact. Jaddy then takes advantage and takes the pair of them through towards turn 4. Absolute chaos in the mid-pack.
Clone Troop went for the move on LK there, got a little touch, and Gianni was like, thank you very much, I will have those 2 positions off you. The Finnish driver was like, oh, and Gianni's lagging a little bit, but yeah, I think that was important from King Liam there to hold his position coming out of the pits then. He's obviously going to be on the fastest tyre, and he's got to get up into the top 10, you've got to think that's where he's going to be aiming. So keep an eye on him as Seabro is coming close behind Boris as Jolly finally pits from the race lead after going 17 laps on those medium tyres, and now we have the gap. We have
now we can officially see the positions as they stand.
That's it. So where will Jolly come out? He will come out probably behind his teammate.
Yeah, fantastic outlap from Liam. Now tries to start it down the inside of Dragon Pro. That was never on, lad. That was never on.
That was audacious to say the least. A real last-minute move there. Thankfully, Dragon saw it move, but Liam got a knife with the tyres. He's got a much better traction and drive and grip for that matter, and he makes that move nice and easily. And he's already up into P10 and he is sniffing more points. So Bacon Yum, you better watch out. Liam is gunning for you.
Yeah, of course, there's meanwhile around the outside and now to the inside goes Jolly on KRC Gianni. Of course, now both Force Indias trying to pass cars as much as they can. Gianni has a bit of contact through towards 9 and 10, trying to defend on the inside line, tries to squeeze him out on exit. And now with the DRS for the pair of them, it's a drag race between setups down towards 11. And here goes Jolly round the outside of KRC Gianni. Fantastic bit of squabbling. I think in the end it will be Jolly who comes out on top. Or will it, as they all climb up towards 13. And again, eventually Jolly comes out on top in that scrap. And now has to try and start thinking about trying to catch up to both Dragon Pro and his teammate. But Hit and Dralex, thanks to Dralex sticking his DRS, is creeping up slowly on LCR Leopard in the race lead.
Yep, as King Liam sets the fastest lap there with a 29.4 on the softs. Yeah, he's keeping just under 3-second gap. It's fluctuating a little bit over, a little bit under, but it's still really close. And that means, was Leopard to get a penalty, they are well and truly in the fight for the race win. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. I actually might have a look now at any penalties that people got. Well, Leopard is absolutely clean as a whistle. Yeah, so it's unlikely. Dralix has no warnings and Hit has 2 warnings, so unlikely that there's going to be a penalty situation. We know that how clean Leopard and Dralix were last season, getting very few penalties, so unlikely that we'll see them getting a penalty with only 11 laps to go here.
Yes, meanwhile, there was actually a scrap going on. Actually, Dragon Pro lets Jolly through there, so it's smart driving from the Renault, thinking, well, I might as well let him through. He's on soft, so I'm on, I'm on fairly warm, medium compound tyres that are trying to go to the end. So why not just think about it? As Liam then gets a time, but which actually could hinder his chance of getting that point here today. As meanwhile, again up towards turn 1, and Dralix still sitting in the DRS. It now starting to drop back behind a Leopard here for the race lead. As now Gianni gets past Dragon Pro as well, but I don't think it's quite over yet. As Liam goes fastest, Boris and Seabro squabbling right down towards turn 1. This was happening last lap as well, and eventually Seabro has the move done, and well, one half of the Scandinavian Red Bull team gets the move done into P7.
Well, the other one sadly loses a position there, just as you were saying that the other half of this Scandinavian duo drops the position to Dragon Pro. Dragon Pro made the move there into turn 1. And then Gianni tries to fight it back straight away, pushes Dragon Pro wide as they go through the S section here. Oh, that was close, but Gianni gets his position back. But Dragon Pro dives down the inside of turn 9. Brilliant move from the rookie driver. That has sent Gianni wide, and he's losing a position here to Clone Troop, who's going to try and make it. Oh, Clone Troop's lost it. Oh, he managed to keep it. Comes back onto the track, but he's dropped a couple of positions there. And Gianni again.
Insane.
Oh, they
oh!
A humongous crash. Absolutely massive crash there. Between, I think that was it? I'm not sure which Renault. Yeah, it must have been Dragon Pro as LK makes the move on Dragon Pro there. I think that was just looked a bit of desync on my screen there, but that was an absolutely humongous crash for Gianni there.
Spinning away, and well, that was really it for him. And now he has to. Well, I don't know. Dragon Pro might have some throttling damage potentially. He might. Meanwhile, Keenan 25 and Bacon Yum, another old rival in Lee Grayson, and now of course a rookie against P3 last season, the second Starlet rookie of season 5, gets passed into P9, and now has to think. Well, 3 seconds ahead is Boris and Seabro. In the battle for P7. Of course, he does carry a time penalty over his head. And now, Leopard and Hit still being extended out, and also Dralex is beginning to drop back. And, well, both Dragon Pro and Gianni come into the pits, as Dragon Pro's been awarded a 5-6 stop go for crossing the pit line entrance. That is a bit harsh, in my opinion. And, of course, just talking about it, the fact that Leopard has led this race and done everything from the start, he will actually be only the 3rd time in LCR's history of it being 6 times now, one of 9 tracks to be hosted every single season of LCR. He is now going to add the name of being 3rd pole sitter to win. He didn't actually win it from pole back, he only won it in season 3. LCR Fred's it in season 4. And Tiwa Pepsi, your good friend, in season 2, won it from pole position. So we'll add his name to that list if he can hold this win.
Yeah, that's a very small list, like you say. Not very usual that the pole sitter wins the Bahrain Grand Prix, but Leopard has really controlled this race, as King Liam is really, he's already dropped 5-6 tenths to Boris already, so he's going to be right on the back of him in a few laps. You've got to think of that battle for P7.
Yeah, these charging Force Indians have certainly proven their worth, as Jolly is also beginning to creep up behind Bacon Yum for P10, so it could be potentially a double point score and finish for the 2 Force Indians in their first race. Also, of course, speaking about the constructors, despite the fact that the most average team will be McLaren, the point scoring will mean, as it stands, that Williams take the constructors lead. My prediction to win the constructors. Of course, McLaren were the favourable 2nd, and currently they're plucky 4th and 5th with 12 and 10, and then Leopard, of course, 25. And Gianni's out of the session now. I think that might have been just a bit of an anger one for him, which is a shame to see. And VSC comes out as well. You don't often see that.
No, that's very rare, but he'll bunch some of the guys up a little bit again. But look, sorry, just looking at the gap, Leopard always got dropped down to 3 points. I was going to say the gap went really miles up to about 4.1 seconds between Leopard and hit, and looks like, but still virtual safety car. It's interesting. Imagine if we got a safety car there. How interesting would that have made these last 7 or 8 laps? That would have been, Leopard would have been seething, but everybody else would have been elated if that had happened. But obviously we don't wish a safety car, but obviously the game has a mind of its own at times.
Yeah, of course. Now, this could make or break someone's races. Speaking of which, it has broken UK Nut Predators because he's now going to drive through penalty. We are back to racing. And look at the gap between Hit and Leopard. Because of the fact that with the best of the world, Leopard had it through towards turn 8, the gap is now coming down to 1.8 seconds. And that could be the lifeline for the Canadian and the Frenchman to keep their hopes alive of winning this Bahrain Grand Prix.
Yeah, they could see there could be light at the end of this tunnel. They thought they might have to be just settling for P2 and 3 here, but with that, it's Leopard got a problem, maybe. Unlikely, but you never know. Because the time is dropping here. It's really dropping. Has Leopard got a problem? It was down to 1.5 for a second there. Let me just go on board with Leopard. It doesn't look like it. But it's down to 1.7.
But you'd expect everyone to at this point in the race. So it's unusual, but you know it's what we've seen here. As meanwhile, back to the battle for P7, Seabro, Boris, and Liam. And Liam is now right on the back of Boris Levels, and these two, of course, teammates last season. And you can't really call them teammates. You can more or less call them two blokes who raced in Renault, to be honest with you. But here we go down towards turn 1. Old teammates. Oh, Boris comes across Liam under brakes. And in the end, Liam gives him a firm squeeze at turn 1. You can guarantee there was some Sebastian Vettel radios happening right there. But Jolly now sprinting around the outside of Bacon Yum almost simultaneously to get himself into the final points position. Will Bacon Yum able to hold it off? As meanwhile, he's flag in sector 1. Oh, in actual fact, it's UK Predator who's had a moment.
Yep, looks like he's round. He's decided to call it a day. But yeah, Boris, really no love lost between the former Renault drivers from last season there. Boris, a little bit of a late move really from my point of view under the under braking there, but Liam managed to come away unscathed and obviously get the position. He's up to P8 and now he's hunting down Seabro to P7, and KJ Gamer isn't much further up as well. Can I just say the gap is coming down between Hit and Leopard very, very marginally. So this is one to keep an eye on. Can Hit get within DRS? It's 1.5 now.
The race last time went right down to the wire in Bahrain for the race lead between Boris and Leopard, and it was Leopard that came out with the defeat at Bahrain last season, and maybe this season it's going to be his opportunity to grab the race win and ultimately take a first round win which he hasn't seen for a long time. I think season 3 was actually the opener in Bahrain, so yeah, he would have got the season opener for that one, but hasn't won a first round in all of the other times he's won the title in season 4 and season 5. But now, as you can see, meanwhile, there's a bit of a scrap going on. Again, Jolly gets past Bacon, but also Clone Troop passes LK in a battle for P10, which is nice to see. But meanwhile, Liam has also passed Seabro in a P7.
Yeah, brilliant. The LK and Clone Troop are going at it pretty much all race here. They're having a nice little battle as LK retakes the position back up through turn 4 there. But these two having a lovely little scrap for the minor placings. But it's great to see that the drivers, regardless of if they're going to get points, they are still having some brilliant battles.
LCR set up as the social race league and most certainly proves that with what we're seeing here today. Plenty of fun had by many and, well, cheers for all, if you will. But now the gap is 1.1 and there is going to be no cheers. It is going to be pure sweat between the top 3. There is 1.6 between them, and Hit continues to bring that gap down with 4 laps to go. There is only 1.2 seconds separating first and second, 1.7 between first down to third. Any one of man of 3 could win this Grand Prix in spectacular fashion.
Yeah, all still to play for. We've got 4 laps left. Leopard, we don't know what's quite going on. We'll have to ask him at the end of the race, but he is struggling massively here, and Hit and Dralix can taste that race victory. Victory is within striking distance as Waystall gets passed by Dragon Pro and then gets a penalty. Not quite sure what happened there. Yeah, flags in sector 3.
He was round out of turn 14. He looked like as if he was doing donuts, but he wasn't actually doing donuts. He was just off. Just Waystall things, really, isn't it? Just that's what happens when you're a two-time pro champion. Just take them in.
Exactly. He's a former champion. He can do what he wants. So, but yeah, this gap up front, sticking around the 1.3. Can they get any closer? Can Hit or Dralix get any closer to Leopard? But Leopard's starting to pull it out a little bit. It's up to 1.4. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. It's still 3 laps to go here. And this is where tyres could come into play. These guys all pitted around the lap 11 mark. So their tyres could well be starting to struggle now. As Dralix makes the move down to turn 1 on Hit. I thought he was gonna, that was a late move from the Canadian. Just telling Hit, I don't think these guys should really start squabbling. Because if they got a chance of getting this race victory, they kind of need to work together to get a little bit closer to Leopard and not slow each other up. But yeah, very audacious move there from the Canadian, very last minute.
Yeah, that's what we tried, what he did at Singapore, and again he's trying it down inside towards turn 8, and well, this is almost shades of what we saw from him at Singapore. If you remember rightly, he got passed by Leopard, and he used his own words, well, I got caught off guard, and I think now he's just trying to catch Hit off guard, really. He was putting so much energy thinking, right, what's the gap in front of me? All of a sudden he's kind of forgot that only half a second behind is this meddling Ferrari that wants P2 in this Grand Prix just as much as probably Hit wants P1.
Yeah, and look at that. Their little squabble has allowed Leopard to get away. And he's now got a lovely 2.4 second gap. So that's pretty much game over for these two guys. Now they've been squabbling a little bit. But further down the field, there's a nice little train falling behind KJ here. With King Liam, Sebro and Boris. But Liam, what a strategy from him. Starting down really far down the grid outside the top 10.
Here goes Dralix again. Dralix down the inside of VBR Hit on the penultimate lap of the race. He goes down the inside. I think the switchback could be on for the Frenchman. Not quite, and I think in the end Dralix comes out on top. Well, does he? Gets a bit of a tank stab out of turn 3, down towards turn 4, round the outside for VBR Hit. Side by side, they got the penultimate lap of racing as the race victory fades away for LCR Leopard. It's going to be hope for second place for both of these men. And in the end, Dralix takes P2 in rather naughty fashion in the end and takes advantage of the fact that Hit was just distracted the last few laps.
Yeah, definitely. Just shows you got to keep your concentration for full time. Sorry, I'm sorry about that. I was on board with this. King Liam tries to make the move down the inside of KJ there into turn 9, but this is Sebro's. Anything happens here, and Sebro is right there to pick up the pieces. As KJ runs a little bit wide, gives Liam a nice run here as he go down in the DRS. As KJ, we know he's an aggressive defender, weaving there to try and get Liam out of it, out of the slipstream. But he keeps a position. So another aggressive move, but I think it's just
synchronized diving.
Yeah, I think it is. It's just a matter of time before Liam gets past the Toro Rosso rookie driver of KJ here. But we'll stay on board with this battle. This is a brilliant battle. He goes defensive. Lovely little bit of weaving again.
Here goes Hit. Down towards turn 1, round the outside again on the final lap of race. This is now. Round the outside goes VBI Hit, and has he pulled it off for P2? He just about has, up towards turn 4, and I think in the end Hit might potentially have this till turn 11. But Liam has gone for a move on KJ Smith.
Yeah, KJ, he got a penalty. I think KJ really squeezed him. That was, they've
Liam's round! Oh, then Boris has been collected. Oh no! You could just see the points fading away on the final lap of racing. Boris gets past, Seabro gets himself into 6th, all because of a coming together between Kingley and 25 and KJ Gamer. And what a way to end your debut with some contact when you had a proper good chance for some points there. Oh, yeah. Dearie me. But we're on to the final few corners for LCR Leopard, and this man is finally going to break the curse. He has not won in Bahrain since Season 3. He has had to wait an awful long time for this moment. In the desert, in the hot climate, he has held his nerve. LCR Leopard is going to win the Bahrain Grand Prix and picks up right where he left off. And VBR hits, brings home a podium with VSR Dralex practically leaving where he left off in P3. More so and Holland make it 4-5 for McLaren. And well, what a first round that was. I can't wait for round 2 now.
Yeah, that was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. Leopard control that race from start to finish. Set an unbelievable blistering time in qualifying. Managed to get a good enough start and just held position from there. And then Hit and Dralex, what a brilliant battle they had for P2 all race long, especially in that second stint. But the French driver getting the better of the Canadian in the end. But driver of the day. Who's your driver of the day, Nuthead?
I'm going to go with Hit. I think he had a great start. He kept his nerve. He eventually got past Dralex, of course, and you know he sort of held it, and then he got spooked, but he responded to it very well, and in the end comes home with 18 points on his debut, which is not a bad day, all things considering. So Smith, who is yours?
I'm going to have to agree with you, VBR here as well. I was going to go for King Liam until he had that moment there, because he was having a brilliant second stint on those soft tyres moving up the field. But yeah, got to agree with you, VBR hit. Brilliant debut race from the Frenchman, and solid 18 points in the championship.
Well, the perfect day for the German, and not only wins this, but also wins the Race of Champions for LCR in their LCR versus TOR at 11 this morning. And well, as you can see, it's the Frenchman who brings the surprises with a debut podium. We knew we were surely going to get at least one, and we did in the form of the Frenchman. The Canadian picks right up where he left himself with another podium to his name, and again continues the streak of not having a race win within the first half of the season. But let's, as per usual, Smith, bring in the guys to give us their thoughts after that Grand Prix. Just before, of course, we do quickly talk to them, any final words from yourself about that Grand Prix? Anything potentially to watch out for in the next coming weeks?
Definitely one. Obviously, we didn't quite talk about VBR Hit quite as much as some of the other guys in the podcast this week, but he's definitely shown he is one to watch. And obviously, I wouldn't count out the McLaren boys. Obviously, solid 22 points in the championship for them, but probably not the best day for them, but definitely still ones to watch as we go into round 2 next week.
Yeah, of course, just the one in the party at the moment, which feels a bit sparse, to be honest with you. Hopefully we'll be able to get all three guys in to give us their thoughts after that Grand Prix. But of course, we have a man that we've spoken to numerous times last season. We have another man who we've spoken to plenty of times, and, well, of course, a man that we haven't spoke to at all. But yeah, of course, now, I suppose we'll start in reverse order. Oh, no, we won't, because the race winner's here. How about that? That one worked. Right, we'll start off with the race winner, LCR Leopard. First things first, my friend. You look rather comfortable out at the front. Was it just feel like as if you were in control from start to finish, or was there any points where you were starting to get nervy?
Not. Oh gosh, that was a voice break. You heard nothing. Yeah, it was fairly controlled, really. Dralex was giving me a hard time on the soft stuff. Eventually, managed to get enough of a gap so I could make moves, and then I could get into a rhythm. And eventually, I got this DRS, got the gap to 2.5 seconds, Jolly's car was lagging quite a bit, like it was almost like it was a bat marker. I had to deal with him twice, which cost like overall 2 seconds. VSC I lost a second and a half, so I think the VSC, if there was a time, was probably going to be the time I lost it. I lost so much time on that, but really was controlled, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you kick things off in qualifying. Of course, similar to the entire top 10, you went for a set of soft tyres. The only person who didn't was Wastel down in P9, I want to say. So, it was a fairly average strategy. Everyone kind of knew what they were doing. Was there any worry, though, in the first few laps when you did come in that potentially some of them guys could have undercut you? Because there was the fear that there was going to be potentially that factor in with the first stops, but you don't have to worry about that one in the end.
No, I knew the undercut wasn't huge in practice, and the mediums take quite a while to heat up, so as long as you haven't completely destroyed your softs, you should be okay to hold position.
Yeah, of course, you take the championship lead. Well, this kind of happens when you win the first round. But because you haven't won the first round since season 3, so it must feel a bit of a sort of relief this season to have that 25 points originally to hold the championship lead. It must feel a bit like a weight off your shoulders because you haven't got to play the catching game in these first few rounds.
I guess it's always nice to win the first round, championship lead. I wouldn't say relief though. I'm like all the others in this league. I'm very confident in my ability, so it wouldn't have been panic right from the get-go. But yeah, it's always good to have the championship lead.
Oh, of course. And final question for you, as per usual. Same place, of course, next week, where we don't have week breaks this season. 14 weeks of flat-out racing. How about that? 14th of April, we arrive in Shanghai. And, well, what's your thoughts on the Shanghai National Circuit? 2 wins from 2, potentially?
It's the plan, but it's usually my least favourite track on the calendar, so we'll see what happens.
At least you get out of the way early. That's the way I look at it. Of course, Smith, any questions for our race winner today?
No, just well done, Leopard. Brilliant. Controlled that from start to finish. Brilliant pole lap, and then managed to get a good enough start and then just control the race from there. So well done.
Cheers.
Well, there we have it. As per usual, we move swiftly along, of course, to the man that is used to being in his podium questions. Of course, only really got to be the first man in the last few races of season 4. Dralex, well, I suppose after last season's heartbreak, I'm going to have to say it's 7/10. I do apologise. But, it's a good way to kick off the season. Get a podium, get yourself off on the mark. But Hit really gave you a run for your money, though.
Yeah, I mean, I knew he was fast. To be honest, my pace surprised the hell out of me. I was confident, but when the race started and I was giving Leopard I was almost pushing him in certain corners. I was just maybe that's because his tires weren't up to temperature. That's my guess. But I knew I just had to keep. To be honest, I don't know what to say. I'm trying to think of something to say and I don't know. Hit. I knew he was fast, and then when he caught up to me, I was running low on ERS, so I didn't fight him that hard, and I stayed behind him a bit to save some fuel and some ERS, and then I saw that we were catching leopards slowly, so I waited until my chance, and then when I saw that the wind was probably out the window, I just decided to fight for P2.
Well, yeah, I mean, you certainly fought, and well, that dive bomb kind of gave me flashbacks to when Leopard passed you at Singapore.
Yeah, that dive bomb was unplanned.
Towards turn 1. It seemed that way. Take us through it, because that was an awkward one.
Well, throughout the race, I saw that I could brake. I was braking a bit later than pretty much everyone around me, and plus slipstream. I don't know. I don't know if Leopard braked a tiny bit earlier than usual, or I just braked that little bit later. But I quickly realized I was about to ram into his gearbox. So I went down the inside. I hopped the curb not to hit him, and yeah, that was that. I was kind of
yeah,
mad
of
at
course.
myself. I mean, it almost worked, but yeah.
Close but no cigar. That's what I'd say in that situation. But it's your second podium in one day. You got, of course, third place for the LCR TOR Race Champions, similar to the fact that Leopard got a race win as well. Just instead of a Frenchman, you had an Australian in between you. So bit of a nation difference, but can't be helped. Final question for you, similar to Leopards, of course. China next week. What's your expectations?
Well, opposite to Leopard, China is one of my favorite tracks. So I love driving it. Once you get into a rhythm, hopefully I'll be on the podium again. There's so many fast guys this season. To be honest, at the start of the race, I would have been happy with the top 5. But then when I qualified P3, I was very happy because some of the faster guys were behind me and just stayed out of trouble. So yeah, I mean, if I can do that again next week, I'll be happy.
You also did it same time last season. In actual fact, it was just Boris that took the victory instead of Leopard. Leopard actually came in P2 in that race. So fun fact for you. But yeah, as per usual, Smith, any questions for the man that came home P3 today?
Just a quick question. Obviously, we've got the caliber of the driver has been up this season. Are you obviously wanting to be and expecting to be in the title fight with Leopard all season? And how tough do you think it is going to be compared to last season?
I mean, I'm expecting. I'd love to be in the title fight, but I feel it's going to be a lot harder than last season. Last season it was mainly four drivers and then 3. But this season there's like the 2 McLarens. You've got Hit, you've got Leopard, you've got me, you've got KJ when he's on like his good day. You've got Sebro, which I don't know what happened to today, but he's rapid. You've got like 8 to 9 drivers easy, so it's almost kind of like IndyCar. You don't know who's gonna win.
Well, obviously, let's hope that we want another Titanic battle, maybe between you and Leopard, maybe between a few more. So let's hope that we can get that because we thoroughly enjoyed it last season. That's for sure.
Well, just a quick one. Not too sure what's happened with VBR Hit. He did join the party and then immediately left, so I'm not too sure what's happening with him. Smith, have you invited him anymore or?
No, I can give it another try though. Hold on. Is it me? Add him. Invite him again.
Try, and if he doesn't join, then of course we'll wrap the stream up there. Of course, we'd like to hear from the rookie podium sitter today. Of course, came in as a big favourite anyway. That was my pick in the fantasy draft, so well done, mate. You done me proud. But yeah, because now we just wait to hear from man that came in P2, and if not, then I suppose we'll just have to go on our merry way.
Leopard, well done on picking yourself in the fantasy draft. Solid points for you there.
Yep, I know. Yep.
You actually picked yourself. Oh my god.
Paul's gonna pick myself if I
thought
can.
you weren't allowed. I thought you weren't allowed.
I thought you were as well, but Apex said apparently you are. So
I double checked, because obviously I was playing tennis with you, Smithy, and then obviously we decided to saw it. I was like, can I pick myself? So apparently I can.
I can't wait to see someone who hasn't picked themselves, right, is side by side with someone up to the line in a fucking sprint race, and they back off purposefully to allow the other one to allow him to go take the victory so he gets the extra points. I can't wait for the day that actually happens.
Well, only 2 more races.
Just saying, biggest steal in LCR. LCR Fredster for 4 mil. No, I can't say that anymore. Because it's just
Leopard said that as well, to be fair.
Yeah. And what's he going to do?
Crash out.
Good effort.
It doesn't look like as if he's going to join, so
No.
we might have to end the stream there. So, of course, glad to listen to our podium sitters. Smith, any final words for the stream?
Just hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, a really exciting race. Some brilliant close racing throughout the field, especially in the midfield. Some great battles. So join us next week for more of the same from Shanghai.
Most definitely. Thank you guys for watching. As per usual, see you, as Smith mentioned, same time, same place for the Chinese Grand Prix. And well, round 1 is done. 13 rounds set between Leopard and potentially a 4-time LCR champion, but he's still got a lot of fighting left to do. Thank you guys for watching as per usual, and take care. See you soon.